You're listening to an Awkward Human podcast on the 5x5 network. If you want to find out more about this show and all the other cool stuff that we do, visit awkwardhuman.com. Hello and welcome to the Awkward Human Survival Guide. This week we're talking about
a different kind of therapy.
Crying during sex.
And dolphin blowhole rape.
Woo! Hello and welcome to the episode. I'm Adam Dotchis.
I'm Erica Elson. We're here with Richard Cardenas.
Oh, you said my name like not stupid.
And Maureen Duncan, a new guest to the show.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
How's everybody doing?
I don't know, how's the microphone smell, Richard?
I was moving it back and forth on my upper lip hair.
Don't do that.
Because it felt funny.
Like,
I wasn't smelling it.
This pop filter, you're just very intimate with it.
I don't know why. It just felt funny, so I was doing it.
Well, next week is when we announce... This week is when we decide, I guess, but next week is when we announce our winners of the contest, hopefully.
How can we decide this week if they're just hearing about it this week?
No, they're hearing about it this week, but we're recording this for next week, so when they hear it this week, it will be this week for them.
So for us, next week, we're deciding.
Yeah, when they're hearing this, we'll be making the decision.
Got it. Okay.
If there is a decision
from
to
our
make.
many submissions we will receive.
Yeah, because I don't know if the people who wrote in today, if they wanted to enter, because they wouldn't. Well, they knew about the blanket, but they didn't know about the glue. Total glue, not true glue, but total glue. Which it's too late to back them on Kickstarter now, but
hopefully you already did. Oh, should we demonstrate for the listeners?
Oh yeah.
And
Ta-da!
1 week old.
I don't know which camera.
You're fine. It's visible. It's right in front of Erica's face.
There you
doesn't
go.
come apart.
Yeah, so it's even better than last week.
So
when it did come apart.
When you need a binder clip on your Duracell, total glue.
Do we know if Darren fixed
you.
his glasses with it? I was very curious to see if that would
I don't know. Yeah, but Darren was very excited. He had me bring one to him the next day because he needed to fix his glasses apparently, and we don't know what happened. But I guess we'll find out when he returns.
Well, you can't give this one away because this is for our winners.
Well, it was Darren's. He just forgot it here.
Ding. Oh.
So now he has it.
Whose has the winner one then?
This one.
Oh.
It's got to be this one.
You guys have one. I have one. Darren
I brought one downstairs because we thought we were going to need it to make a 3D printer, but we didn't because there's a part that won't go in.
Okay.
Anyway, if you want to ask a question or share a story or something like that, we're just going to get that out of the way right away this time. It's 509-AWKWARD, the number you can call or text. You can write in, as you know, at awkward.email to get all your options. You can also go to awkwardhuman.com, and there's probably something on there. I put a form somewhere. I don't remember. Anyway, it's time for some stories. And Maureen, you're going to start us off today, aren't you?
I guess so. If anybody's familiar with the New York subway system, yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you picture the West 4th Street stop?
I can't, but I can imagine one.
Every time I go to New York City, I take a picture of it. It's falling down. It's disgusting. It's dirty. It's where, you can switch from, the F train to the A train.
Oh, yeah, I think I have been to that one.
In the Village by NYU.
Yeah.
So I was trying to switch trains, and I just missed, getting the A train connection. So it's a very, super long platform. It goes from, it's 5 city blocks long or something like that. And I'm at one end of the platform, and the only other person on there is all the way at the other end. And it's a woman with a bucket of fried chicken underneath of her arm. And I need to be down the other end, and she's coming towards me. And as we're getting closer to each other, she's just eating chicken and licking her fingers and then, throwing the bones into the trash. And I'm interesting. This is, you're used to, weird people on the subway. But you don't usually see, a woman with a bucket of chicken under her arm. But this woman is, and she's getting closer to me. And as we get closer and we pass, I'm just going to walk by her. But she stops me and she goes, "Hey, honey, you got a quarter?" And she holds out her hand. I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't." And she goes, "But you got real nice titties," and and twisted my nipple and left this huge grease stain on my shirt. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. And if if a man had done that to me, I would have been like, "You goddamn set!" I would have been so mad. But I was not expecting that at all. And all I could see was this grease stain, and she just kept on walking and eating. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I feel like I would have punched her by accident.
What happened?
I feel like somebody just grabbed this and goes, accidentally.
I didn't say anything. I was just like in total.
What do you
shock
think was
that
worse?
happened.
The non-consensual grabbing of your nipple, or the fact that your shirt was now stained with the fried chicken?
A memory forever.
It was a memory forever because I loved this particular t-shirt.
Oh, that's the worst.
And every time I wore it, it became something I wore into the studio after that, only like when I was painting or like doing something, but it was ruined forever. But every time I looked at it, I'm like, yes, a woman pinched my nipple.
Oh my god. That is so weird.
Wow, that's
But you got a compliment along with it. Does that help?
No,
Okay.
no.
It doesn't.
Definitely not.
Actually.
Okay. Noted.
I guess it is the first time I did get complimented while being assaulted.
Okay.
Do you think she thought both titties were equally good, or she liked one better and that's why she nippled it?
It was clearly the left one she was after. Yeah. She
Well.
beeline right for it.
That is so disturbing.
So do we think, like, because you're saying, you know, you would have reacted very differently if it was a man. Is it more or less wrong for a woman to do it to another woman and for a man to do it? Like, if they're both on the same level,
all
right?
wrong.
Like, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, your
Yeah.
reaction later on would have been the same had it been a man or a woman. But is it like, it was just so unexpected that you wouldn't even have thought to, like, call her out on it?
I just feel like I would have had a different I would have been primed to react.
It's probably
With a
because
man-
with the man you're more on guard.
Right.
Yeah.
If someone says that to you, like if a man starts saying that, you're probably immediately like, oh, sexual predator, you
Yeah.
know? But if a woman says that, it's like, oh, that's weird. Why is she saying that to me? You're not expecting the nipple grab.
Not expecting the nipple
Yeah,
grab.
yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No man has ever grabbed my nipple or twisted my nipple
That's
on the
good.
subway, but a man did slap me in the face with his erect penis.
On the subway?
On the F train.
Oh my God.
That did happen. And I was like, and he ran off the train.
Oh, that is not okay.
happened
That is
too.
that is really.
On the train?
Yeah.
Wait,
so
how did-
bad things
wait-
happen. And
Were you just?
don't go there.
In conclusion,
Were you just like walking? I'm sorry, not walking. Sitting. You're sitting on the subway and then minding your own business, and all of a sudden you look and there's a dick coming at you.
So the trains used, like, this was like 15 years ago, the BD trains used to terminate at 34th Street, so I had to go
This happened
someplace-
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Something like that.
That's awful.
Was
'cause-
Well, it's not better for it to be now or then.
Well, no, it's worse then because she was so much younger then.
Oh, I
presumably.
thought you meant, like,
I don't
for
know
the
how young,
times.
but I mean,
was
like,
in my late 20s,
Okay.
you know.
so yeah, that's still like it's a lot more traumatizing when the world's still new in some ways, especially in New York, I would think. Or did you grow up there?
I grew up in New Jersey, not in New York. So
Also, you had some idea of what
I
you
had
might have
some
been
idea
before.
of what, like, I was living in New York for a few years already when it happened, but it was just like waiting on the train for it to go because it was
I've
the
never
first
heard of
stop
anything
on
like
the
that.
train. And you can sit, like, it has these two bucket seats right next to the door. So I was sitting right next to the door, and then on the next stop, somebody got in, and there was nobody else on the train. I was like, why is this man standing so close to me? There's like all these empty seats, whatever. And then the next time it stopped, he jumped in front of me and just like had, you know, just an erect penis, and he just took his hips and he swung it across my face and ran off the train. And it was like, oh my God.
Wow.
So he
That's
like had a
terrible.
whole plan. He was like primed and ready to go. He spotted you. He was like, "This is gonna happen."
He
Yeah,
must have been
like-
at least average size if he's going to reach, right?
Well,
I mean, I don't know if you got a good look at it.
It was like, imagine sitting here and I'm like, I know I didn't have a book, but I'm sitting here and like it would be like where this microphone is, and it was just a little thrust of the hips forward and boonk, you know.
Did it hurt?
Jesus.
Did it hurt? No, but it didn't hurt, but it felt like flesh slapping on your face.
Like penis
that's just
flesh
so-
slapping your
The
face.
psychological damage that comes with that, I would think, is just, I mean, in the moment, not like you're permanently scarred forever or anything, but the just feeling like, oh God, what was on it? Like,
Well,
just the unknowns of that penis.
Well, you probably felt like it was there for a very long time, right?
I did.
Yes, phantom cock.
Or just like
Still there a little bit.
I
Do you
hate
guys
that.
remember when our friend was discussing? I don't think this was on the podcast, so I'm not going to say her name. But our friend was discussing dick slapping like super casually.
Oh yeah.
And she would like, but this was in the context of like her boyfriend. And like, I don't judge. People do whatever they want to do in the
Wait,
bedroom, you know.
You're not going to bring up who it is?
No, because she said it off the air, and I don't know if she wants us to talk
Oh,
about
I thought
it.
you said it on the air.
I'm not sure if she did.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay.
So
Our friend who lives in Brentwood. We only have one friend who lives in Brentwood.
Yeah.
And so she was talking about dick
It was off
slapping,
the
and she's
air.
like, "Oh, you
It
know,
was?
sometimes he just pulls out his dick and just like slaps it around your face." And she was saying it so casually.
But also, it wasn't even in a sexual context. Like, it was like she was sitting on the couch just watching TV, and sometimes he would just like bring out his dick and slap her
that's
with
how it
it.
happened?
I think he thought it was a sexual context. But she wasn't necessarily in a sexual mood.
Right,
Yeah,
like-
she was like making cookies, and
It was like
and
his
he's
version
like,
of
it's dick
foreplay.
Did she
o'clock.
think it was hilarious?
She thought it was like no big deal, but like not. I don't think she was like it's arousing me. She was like, "Oh, it's totally normal, you know, when your boyfriend comes over to you and slaps his dick around your face."
Oh, I don't want to get dick slapped.
And I was like, "Is it?" I would not be okay with that personally. I mean, I also like don't want to get tied up, so it's like some people want things, other people don't, you know, whatever. But it was just like the way she was talking about it was like so casual.
But it doesn't. It didn't sound like she wanted
No,
it. It
she
sounded like
wasn't
she had
into it.
accepted it.
It was like, oh, it's just something people do, you know. Anyways, that just reminded me
Was
of
he
that.
living in New York 15 years ago?
I don't think so.
Oh wow, God! I hope that's the end of your Subway. If you ever saw a guy take a shit in a chicken bucket, though,
Oh.
I know who it is, and I can have him apologize to you.
Oh, like you can contact him.
Yeah, I know who that was.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, Kleber. Kleber, who when he met me, I had red hair. Just FYI, this is relevant. Stuck his finger in my ear and said, "Hey there, fire crotch."
Oh.
So I'm like, nope, not necessarily, because that was when I learned how to dye hair. But I don't know what the finger in the ear was for. He's a weirdo.
Maybe like something can go in you later. This is a demonstration.
Was that his version
Was
of
the
foreplay?
finger
I don't
wet
know.
when it went in your ear?
No, I don't know if he was like trying to grab my head and just went in there, and then he was like, oh, well, I'm here now, so guess I'll stick around.
Nope.
This was in New York.
15
I guess that was
years ago?
obvious because of the subway, but no, it was a little bit more than that. He diarrheaed
What
in
a
a
time!
bucket
What a time to be alive.
around when you got not dick slap. What was the other one? The titty twister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chicken tit.
That was around when he
Chicken-titted.
shit in a bucket.
Chicken-titted.
Yeah.
Oh, grease-titted.
All right, well, we
chicken
definitely have a
grease-titted. Jesus Christ.
Episode title to work with at this point.
I'm sorry you've had to deal with that.
Well, now I live here. So
Yeah, not so much
And you
subway
don't take the
riding.
subway.
And I don't take the subway.
Oh God.
Well,
On that note, Richard, what
Yeah.
do you want to talk about?
So, do you want me to talk about the
Yeah. Talk about white rage.
white rage? Oh, okay, white rage. Okay, so
you
how
go
do you
ahead.
guys feel about the word partner used by straight couples to describe their boyfriend or girlfriend?
I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. Typically, okay, so when
Maureen hasn't weighed in yet.
I'm
Do you have a
always
problem?
curious when people start with partner, but then it usually evolves into some other word. But that is usually good to meet you. Anyway, here's my partner.
Adam.
Well, you know how I feel about it, but we're gonna get to that in a second. I don't
Okay,
give a
so
shit.
I
is
think
what-
okay,
the
so
gist.
I don't really know if it started off as like a queer thing or
Oh, no,
it
it's
evolved
definitely-
into like I don't
yeah, it
know.
was gay. Gay
But,
people started
but that's
using
how
it.
I knew it my whole life, I guess, of knowing gay people. Where gay people describe their significant other as their partner, not their boyfriend or their girlfriend. But I guess recently there's been more of a surge of straight couples doing it as well. And when I first started hearing it, I thought it sounded weird. I was never offended by it, but I was always like, that's interesting. Why would you do that? But I guess recently it's become a trigger for some people where they're calling it appropriation
Oh my God.
yeah,
of a
but
word.
but it doesn't sound like it's gay people who are upset about it.
No, it sounds like
it's
straight
white
people are
straight
attacking other
people.
straight people for using the word partner.
Yeah,
And I was just like curious.
My thought on why it's happening is because I think, well, two things. One-
Everything is offensive now.
No. I'm saying why people have been using it more, like straight couples, is because less people are getting married. Like it's not as common to be like to meet someone, get engaged, and get married. Like people are together for much longer before getting married, and I think get to a point where they're like, well, we're kind of more than just like boyfriends. We're like life partners, whatever. But then also, I think with the legalization of gay marriage, there's less of a partner is the only word you can use, right? Like gay people, straight people, everyone can be married, not married, and use whatever term they want. So I think it kind of became a like, oh, well, this is just kind of thrown back into the pool now as like a way of defining a relationship, and not like the only way you can define it if you're gay and you want to say that it's more than like a boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, and like for me, I use both words, either partner or boyfriend. I think depending on who I'm talking to. If it's a friend or someone I feel very comfortable with, I usually say boyfriend. But if it's like a coworker that I don't really know all that well, I'll say partner. So I think for me, it's like, what context am I
When your
in?
family's not comfortable, they say roommate.
They say friend.
Oh, they do? I thought it was roommate.
No, they call you my friend.
Oh, the work was roommate.
Like still now?
Yeah.
Hey, they talk to me. It's something.
Yeah, now they talk to Adam, so.
Your friend of six years that you live with.
Just about.
Yeah, they've always been that way. They're like, so how's your friend? It's always like that.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
they should learn the
he's
word
good.
partner. That would be a little bit easier for them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really talk to them anyway, so it's fine.
Where's your boyfriend?
Yeah. But anyway, I thought it was
Novio.
interesting because I saw people on both sides arguing it, like the straight people. Like, I had one person on Facebook argue that they shouldn't be doing it, and then I had another person who is straight who calls her boyfriend her partner, who argues for it and stuff. So it's just like interesting why this is like a thing right now.
Yeah, straight white people, I'm assuming, chill. We don't care. I don't understand that at all.
Oh,
Not chill.
she's not.
We got a
chill.
growling dog. What happened?
I don't know. She's looking
Something
outside.
outside.
Someone outside is not having it. She's not having it for someone outside. Anyway, yeah, I just was curious on how people felt about that. I'm not offended by it.
No one's offended by it, but
I
people
didn't
who
know
think
it-
they should be. Oh,
I didn't know it was a thing that anybody could be offended about, but I have
Right.
noticed more straight women that I know using it, and I feel like it creates a little bit of a mystery as to their sexual identity if they intrude. They're like, especially if their partner, boyfriend, or whatever is not with them, and they're like, "Oh, well, I live with my partner," and that's all they say, and it creates.
Do you think they want to create the mystery?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That I think is
maybe.
shitty. Like if someone's like 100% straight and they're like, I just want to be more mysterious about my sexual identity, like that's maybe unnecessary.
Well, it's a little annoying if you're trying to get to know them, but
Well, maybe that I don't
it's
know.
it's
Maybe
certainly not
they're
offensive
also
to gay people.
bisexual or pansexual.
Then, yeah,
and they
totally
just happen
fine.
to be
Yeah,
dating
yeah,
a man at this
yeah.
moment,
Right.
and it comes with so much baggage for them.
They should just say then my man partner.
Yeah.
Or my transgender female furry partner. You just add it on. Partner is just like a dash partner.
Well, one of the arguments I've heard for the usage of partner is like the gender norms of saying boyfriend girlfriend, and like the what you assign to those kind of terms as far as gender norms. But I've never really looked at it that way, I guess. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me that people are using partner. I thought it was weird when I first started hearing it from straight
I
couples.
don't think it really
but it
bothers
doesn't bother
anybody.
me.
There are just some people that are very anxious about it, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
who, maybe will end up on one of those prank shows someday.
Prank shows. Yeah, maybe Sacha Baron Cohen, find him.
Yeah, 'cause it just reminds me of him, like his fake character calling that black guy. I don't even remember. It was something even more careful than African American. And then the guy's like, "Nope, I'm black, but thanks." I don't think he said "but thanks," but
Mhm.
yeah, I just think it's ridiculous that people are calling it appropriation.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, the word partner has so many different meanings. It's not like a synonym for gay or queer or anything like that. It's just a word that can also be used for like business partners, or spies.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual
Like a variety of things.
I don't know what the actual definition of appropriation is as far as the world's concerned, how everyone sees it. But for me, it's like if someone wants to enjoy part of another culture, I don't think you're appropriating it. It's like if you were stealing it for your own benefit, I mean, outside of like enjoying yourself. But like if you're making money off of like if Eminem maybe culturally appropriated rap, but maybe not because he grew up in that community. I don't know, but like I mean, like if I went out and decided to be a gangster rapper, because that would you can hear in my voice that's possible. that might be appropriation. I don't know. But there's that girl, she had a kimono on or something for prom, and people freaked out and said, oh, you're culturally appropriating. She's like, I just like the kimono. Like, she wasn't making fun of it. She thought it was cool. She wanted to wear it to prom. Like, that should be okay, because that's accepting other cultures. Like, we don't want to get mad at each other for doing that sort of thing. So people want to use partner, and it makes them feel a little bit gayer.
The dogs really don't want to use the word partner.
Yeah.
They're very offended.
Yes, we have a lot of guests this weekend, you guys. I don't know if you know. Actually, I do. I know you don't.
Hey, Lucy. Her name is Lucy.
We've got Lucy and Rocco, and Patches is downstairs. We're babysitting some dogs this weekend for a couple of days, and we just had Richard's nephew here, so it's a big family party this weekend.
No, stop it.
So if she keeps barking, we'll take Richard can go vomit, and we'll take care of the dogs. It's an inside joke, Maureen.
And, it doesn't really mean much more than he has been known to leave the show to go vomit.
Okay.
Every once in a
happened
while,
twice.
Only twice?
It's only happened
it's
twice.
not anorexia.
Well, more
it's
than
just
once.
for fun.
It's very Elton John.
It's usually like very sudden, like, excuse me, goes to vomit.
Yeah, usually. Well, only the 2 times. It's only happened twice in the 4 years we've been doing this.
Sure.
So, I guess.
You want me to take her out?
Well, if she keeps going, but yeah, I guess it's time for a vomit break, everybody. We'll be back in a moment after Lucy and Richard go to the toilet. Vomitorium. Thank you. That's good.
You're a busy working professional. You barely have time to lunch. You work to pay off those student loans, and the stress just keeps eating away at you. Even if you had time to buy a dildo, how could you afford the quality your vagina and/or asshole deserves? Nowadays, if you want to go fuck yourself, you're probably finding out the world has fucked you already. I'll tell you a secret. You can masturbate with a professional-grade dildo or vibrator pennies on the dollar. And it's all thanks to an amazing new service called Secondhand Dildos. It's like eBay, but dedicated to phallic objects that have served their owners well for years, but are ready to pleasure you instead. With quick search tools and preferences that help you narrow down your desires, you can own a thoroughly cleaned and disinfected used sex toy in minutes. Unless that's not your thing. Just turn off Safe Search and you'll have access to dildos straight from a human hole, wrapped to preserve any sensual juices, so you can feel connected to its former owner. When times aren't so tough, you can sell your secondhand dildos to others and give back to the community. If you want to get off the way you deserve, visit secondhanddildos.com and go fuck yourself today.
Suck it real good. Put it in your mouth and suck it all the way. Eat it real good. Put it in your mouth and eat it all up.
And we're back. Yeah, we're back. I wasn't sure if we were back, but we are. We're back from the dog vomit break. Richard, how do you feel?
I feel lighter.
Good. How many pounds do you think you got out?
About 5.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, so not a good poop, but
no, that is a good poop. But
how much do you poop out?
When you poop, you're supposed to say, "I feel 10 pounds lighter."
Jesus, I've never pooped that much.
Even after
no one has. It's just
holding it in after a whole night of meat.
I don't hold it in, Richard. It just stays in me.
Well, okay, fine. But
It's
when it
not
all comes
like-
out, eventually, 2 days later.
I mean, when it came out, it really came out, in different phases.
Mm-hmm.
I was gone for so long that Jacob asked me where I went. He thought I left the apartment.
Uh-huh.
And, he poops all the time, so he's not one to be shocked by that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And when I told him, he was like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was like, oh, I feel much better now.
That's good.
So, yeah, that was post-meatstipation. But I would say that was, maybe 4 pounds.
Okay.
At most. I mean, it didn't break the water seal or anything.
The water seal?
The water level, in the toilet.
Okay.
So...
Well, if you need to prevent splash, here's a life hack. Put toilet paper down in the water first. And it prevents the poop splash, so it gently plops into the toilet bowl. So, Richard, did you want to talk about something else, or should we go into
we could just go on.
We could just go on.
Let's go on.
Let's just jump right into it. in internet fashion. Erica, I believe you are going to kick us off with a question
With a
from
story.
Geoff.
Yeah, so Geoff has written to us again. He wrote...
Jeff.
No, it's Geoff. We just went over this.
Oh.
Yeah, remember he wrote him last time and he was like, it's Geoff or Geoff or at least something.
This is
something.
why people don't like
just,
you.
Well, here, read the whole name and it will make sense.
Oh, the whole heading?
Yeah.
He says, question from Geoff. You pronounced it correctly on the latest episode. Good job. I'm just trying to avoid the usual Jeff.
Oh.
Done.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry.
I started
sorry.
the question. I started seeing a therapist after having difficulty finding the desire/interest in developing romantic relationships. I was coming to terms with identifying as asexual. However, I have discovered that my sexual orientation is someone being paid to sit in a room and listen to my problems week after week.
Oh, right.
I'm horny for my therapist. We'll call him Chris, and he is also gay. Over the last few visits,
Well,
he shared some of his personal experiences that
If
can
his
be
name is
compared
Chris,
to
it's a
mine.
pretty good chance.
We've also been laughing more. There was a specific incident where, as he sat down, his polo slid up and revealed his abs. He didn't
Oh,
correct
my.
it until more than a few moments after I obviously gawked. Erica, spelled incorrectly, will this impede my ability
Well,
to
tell him
make...
how to spell it. Tell him how to spell it so he knows.
With a C. What's the other option? He spelled it with a K.
Well, you could have a C and a K.
No one does that. The only people who spell it
Witches do it.
The only people who spell it that way are people who are trying to spell Erica correctly, and they're like, I'm just going to put both of them in there because then I'm probably right. And I'm like, no, then you're 100% wrong.
Then they're 50% wrong. They just have
They're
to cross
being
out the wrong
inclusive.
letter. That way you don't have to do all that. It's so tiring to draw the letter
Anyways,
again.
it's a C. Will this impede my ability to make therapeutic progress? Should this issue be part of the therapy? Adam, how can I tell my therapist he's hot? If necessary.
I think it's hot.
No. If necessary.
Well, there are more T's, not O's.
How can I tell him? But that's not what he meant. He meant like hot.
Okay. How can I tell him I
If
need to change
necessary, how can I
providers?
tell him I need to change providers? Darren,
That's you,
assuming
Maureen.
I have to get another therapist, how can I seduce my current one while still maintaining the veneer of you're my therapist? Richard, what's the sexiest mental health diagnosis? If this has been asked before, forgive me. I have learned it is prevalent enough to have the term sexual transference, which only makes this hotter to me. P.S. I submitted a comment recently and you read it on the most recent episode, 218. The reason my comment sounded formulaic is because I was responding to a literal request for people to write in and identify themselves as listeners on episode 216. Yeah, we did say that, but what we were asking was like people who've written in before, we wanted updates. And so that's why we were like, well, have you written them before? Because you don't sound familiar. P.P.S. I did actually submit a question a long time ago.
There you go.
Probably 3 years. I hadn't had any kind of romantic/sexual experience and was wondering if I should hook up with someone from Grindr. I did. It was awkward, and I do not regret it, although it was foreshadowing to the asexual issue referenced previously.
Well, so are you asexual or are you just gay for therapist? I guess that's
Maybe
what...
he's gray sexual.
What's
that?
gray sexual?
Those are people who are only attracted to a very limited amount of human beings. They
Oh,
are
a new
not
term I haven't heard.
asexual. They just develop feelings for very few individuals, and it's not like you don't see somebody and go, oh, he's so hot. Like, he's so hot. It's like you get to know somebody and then you develop feelings for them.
What if you're attracted to
Very
everybody, but romantically speaking, most people just
I don't know the answer to that one.
like the opposite.
I think that's just being
That's
a
normal.
person.
So gray sexual, I mean, that makes
that's
perfect
real.
sense. Like,
Yeah.
That's interesting because I usually hear people who consider themselves pansexual describe it that way, where they're like, "Oh, I don't fall in love with what they look like. I fall in love with like who they are or whatever."
but
it sounds
they can
because
fall in love
I'll
with
do
any
it all.
number of people. It's not like it's difficult. If you're pansexual, it doesn't necessarily mean you don't fall in love with people easily. Whereas this person is like, oh, I have feelings for no one. I'm
Yeah.
not really attracted to people. But in this specific instance, it's super hot. So it's like very selected.
They can go years and years without finding an attraction to anybody or like a celebrity or any other person, and then they just might get a feeling for one particular person.
That's interesting. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot.
Geoff is also 23, so it is possible that he just doesn't quite know his type yet, and
Yeah,
is
just
like,
let
oh,
it
I'm in a
happen.
safe space where someone's listening to me and caring about me, and they're attractive. Oh, I feel an attraction to someone. Like maybe he just hasn't let himself be super vulnerable with a lot of people, and that translates to him as like, oh, I don't like anyone.
Yeah. I think it's okay to like just see where things end up. You don't have to make a decision about it. Like if you don't have to put a label on yourself, just date, and when you think you know who you are, then you're good. But that's not what you're asking.
No. Because
So-
I think his concern is, what if the only person I'm attracted to is my therapist? How do I go about that? And can I still be in his therapy?
Yeah. Well, I think we should start with Richard's question. What's the sexiest mental health diagnosis? Because I think that'll be the easiest one to resolve.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of conditions because there are some conditions that would make you more charismatic, but the
Like he wants
diagnosis
to be
itself.
sexy?
Yeah, like savant syndrome, or what is it called?
I don't know if that. Yeah, I mean that's cool because you can be smart at stuff, but then you're also usually like a little retarded, so that's not unnecessarily sexy. I don't know. It depends. I mean, some people are into that, but it's I don't know. What can go wrong? Let's think about.
Oh
what
well,
can go wrong with
maybe
us.
like Tourette's syndrome. I think that.
Well, that could be hot if you're like if you're like really.
But I think it depends on like what the person's condition is, because like let's
but
say
you're
like they
fucking,
just
though,
have
you're
like a
like,
twitch where they like
yeah,
blink or something. Like
baseball.
I don't think I would find it like sexy, but I think I would find it endearing.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of people with Tourette's on TV shows, and they've interrupted a lot, unwillingly.
Like
and
me?
No,
No, I do it unwillingly sometimes.
Like, you know, when I think there was one person on The Good Wife who had Tourette's, and like they're in court, and like he just kept interrupting, and it was like really uncomfortable because it's like we just want to get through this point, and he keeps saying swear words.
I think that was Michael J. Fox and he was lying.
But is that a real form of Tourette's where they just like shout out a swear word?
Yeah, but I think on TV it's like overpronounced. I think when you have Tourette's, there's something else that happens a lot more, and I don't remember.
Well, I know, like, from the limited experience I've had with people with Tourette's, like, it comes off as, or it can come off as, like, a twitch, like a something that just happens. Not necessarily, like, a vocal thing, but, like, it could be, like, a...
Yeah, I think it's, like, a face twitch.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Like, it could be that. Anyway.
Oh, so there's apparently tongue clicking is one of the things. Saying the word banana, yeah, just like on Ari's movie. Sniffing and saying hey over and over again. So I guess it's just like it's a repetition of something, or just getting like it seems like it's a little OCD. But that's just one. That was Heather 20 from Northamptonshire.
Oh,
if that's how you say it. It might have some weird pronunciation. Marie 44 Newquay. Her son Malachi is 10 with complex Tourette syndrome, autism, ADHD, and that's a lot. Okay, so we're not gonna find out. He's apparently very imaginative, but he's also a daily pain, wanting to do the same things as his peers, but being unable to. Well, that doesn't tell us.
It's just
a lot.
sad.
Yeah. Kirsty, 39 from Truro. Where are they finding these towns?
Oh, Truro's a town in Massachusetts. It's right below where I used to live.
All the Tourette's people are in like.
No, it's north. It's right above.
Apparently, people have mocked her daughter's tics, she's 12, that she has to be removed from assembly because, and apparently it just sucks and it makes her life hard. There are not examples in this.
Well, also, he can't be diagnosed with Tourette's if he doesn't act like he has Tourette's.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he just asked what's the sexiest.
But I thought it was because he wanted to have something that he's like, oh, this would be a sexy diagnosis for me.
Oh, I
to
thought it
be
was just like
appealing to his therapist.
I thought it was just like a general question.
I mean, maybe, but I think he's like, he wants to go in there and be like, I think I have, ADHD. Or,
No.
I think
Yeah,
I have
ADHD, OCD, and Tourette's apparently are all in the same camp because all these kids have some combination of them. So that doesn't surprise me. Just knowing ADHD personally.
Well, that's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, so sexy diagnoses. Maureen,
now,
do you
unless
have
I think of something else
anything that
later.
would attract you to a crazy person?
Let's not call him crazy or anyone
Well,
with mental
he-
health issues.
I've dated a
Well,
lot of
it could be. I'm just.
crazy people.
I am
don't
crazy.
know.
I am a crazy person with mental health issues. So
Yeah, but you can call
I'm not-
yourself that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not the same.
I'm just being silly. No derogatory stuff here. But sorry.
It's not a good diagnosis, but people who are on the upward swing of bipolar disorder.
That's what I was
hung out with
thinking.
them before, and it's
Yeah.
been lots of fun, but it's
Yeah, the
terrible.
mania
I don't
can be
think
fun.
the diagnosis is sexy,
mild.
but a lot of people who act in sexy, like not sexual, but like sexy ways are like on a bipolar high.
Yeah,
like certain business
they don't really
people.
think about consequences, and they're like, "That sounds like a great idea. Let's buy a motorcycle and ride for 3 days."
Like
Right,
a
they want a
spontaneity
party.
is part of it.
They buy
I mean-
stuff for people. So that I could see that behavior.
Oh, here I googled it.
Okay.
First I found the men who fetishize mentally ill women. So that's not loading yet. So I don't know.
That's not gonna help this guy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if he's a therapist, so he's probably not into low self-esteem. But that can, be part of depression, which is a mental health diagnosis. So if he's like really into low self-esteem people, you should just hate yourself or pretend to. But foreign accents, we can rely on Cracked for this. Foreign accent syndrome, where you
That's a thing.
Yep, where you start talking in a foreign accent.
That should be your thing. I think if you're gonna
get a good one.
Yeah. Well, can it be multiple? Like, can it be like on Monday he's French, on Tuesday he's British?
Yeah, or he can just have like a general like European accent that is not from any region that
Like
some people do.
German-esque.
The
Maybe.
continental accent.
Continental. There you go.
Alien hand syndrome could help because
Alien hand syndrome?
one of your hands acts on its own.
That is real, and that is amazing.
But is it sexy?
Maybe it can be.
I guess, but that would
Did you
be...
see the YouTube video about this?
No.
The hand and this woman, like, she
What if
had
that's had happened to your
surgery,
boob?
And this woman used to smoke, and her alien hand would smack the cigarette out of her. It's real.
I think it would be sexier for like masturbation than for sex.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
You're like, ooh, what are you doing to me, hand?
Oh, we got to find someone who has this and ask them about their masturbation.
Oh my God. What if their hand is like not
What if her
gay?
hand's very religious?
Yeah, like what if their hand...
It's not gay.
Oh,
like,
it is.
because,
It
like,
is from
if you're
brain hemisphere
masturbating, you're touching
separation.
yourself.
It is from brain hemisphere separation. So so you could just get this done surgically. It's usually a treatment for epilepsy. But
You can do it on purpose.
Yeah, it happens. I was wondering because I was like, does this happen because of some anomaly or because the hemispheres are separated? In that case, one of your hands you won't be able to like understand what half of your body is doing. So there's a lot of other
And people
problems that come with
elect
it.
to do this, and that's illegal?
No, they don't.
It
It's like a
happens.
symptom of, it's like not a byproduct, but what is it called?
Side effect?
A side effect of something else.
Of
It
your
can be.
separating the hemispheres in the brain.
Okay, so don't
No.
do that.
Connector. But you're still fine. It's just confusing.
Oh, so it's not that they're going in to have this procedure
No,
done.
no,
They're
it's like
having
a
a
problem.
different issue going on, and then this happens.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, here, this one sounds interesting. Stendhal syndrome. Stendhal syndrome is a psychosomatic disorder that, well, that's not going to help you that much, but that strikes when a person is exposed to too many beautiful or powerful objects in too short a space of time. Symptoms range from dizziness to full-blown psychosis. It can be triggered by famous works of art, areas of natural beauty, and
my
even
God.
entire cities. You just love too much.
I couldn't deal with that.
You-
like someone who just
yeah.
like sees a painting and they're like, oh!
Next time you go to a job interview and they say, what's your biggest weakness? You say Stendhal syndrome
Awesome.
instead of the usual
I love
cliche.
everything.
The next one is walking corpse syndrome. That sounds
That's not sexy.
Walking corpse syndrome, otherwise known as Cotard syndrome, cool, is a rare disorder in which the sufferers are convinced that they have died or otherwise ceased to exist. Well, that doesn't sound sexy.
No.
Synesthesia. That's probably a good
That's-
one. You know about that.
That's not something you would go to therapy for.
No, but it could be sexy.
People
What is
with
synesthesia?
are fast. They're people like who smell numbers or see colors or they hear
Oh.
music, but there's
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just like say, what color is red? Or
I
sorry,
hear
what color
feelings.
is A? And then she's like,
It's red.
Yeah,
blue.
that's
Yeah.
right. Just
Yeah.
like the
It's
number
red.
5
Well,
is always black and
you have a-
smells like pepper and eggs.
you have a color mix-up and I have a sound mix-up, right?
I know I have a color thing. I don't know what you have.
Oh, well, no, that's right.
Oh,
Then
okay.
you have the color mix-up. I have the sound mix-up. I will.
I wouldn't call
I
it
feel
a
sounds,
mix-up though,
but not in,
because
like,
it's
the normal way.
helpful to me.
She has a color association.
Yeah, no, I have association with like certain sounds of like temperatures or visuals and stuff like that in a way that's like very distinct, and if you show me a picture, I can get sounds out of it. So
But I mean, you wouldn't go to therapy for that.
no, you wouldn't. But it can be sexy. So if he can't be diagnosed with anything else, it'll be like, oh, but I have synesthesia.
I feel like it would be very apparent if someone was faking it though, because like when someone asked me, like the other day, Jacob was like, "Well, what is my name? Like, what colors are?" I was like, "Well, it's each letter," and I like immediately spelled out like what the colors were. But if you don't, it would kind of seem like, oh well, it has like hues of turquoise, and like it would
You
sound.
have to
very
memorize
fake,
a
I think.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just I I didn't think I had anything until
What if you see
I did more music.
A in blue? What does that do to you?
It's not really a problem. It's obviously incorrect.
It's just pretty.
But, like, you know how sometimes you go to the science center and they have those things where it says red and it's blue, green is yellow or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you're supposed to read them and see if it like fucks your brain. I like never have a problem with any of those because I'm like, it's very easy for me to separate them. Maybe if they were the colors that I associate in my brain, it would be harder. But I like, it really doesn't fuck me up if it's a different color. It's just like, oh, this color and this thing are now together as like a new pairing or whatever.
Okay.
Not the one that's in my head.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, apparently a study found that the sexiest men are most likely to have mental health problems, but they're also less likely to seek help. So maybe you're like in the middle, Geoff.
I mean, if I were a therapist, I think the sexiest thing would be that you're like, whatever your problem is, you're in therapy to fix it. Like, that's what's sexy to a therapist is like you're getting help and you're getting
you're
Is it though? Or are you just projecting?
No, I'm not a therapist.
I know, but
But as like, okay, as a person who works in education, if someone is like, I have this problem and I tell them how to fix it and they actually take my advice and they fix it, that's really great. Like, I find that very rewarding. If someone takes my notes on a cut,
is that
that's
something
very
that you
rewarding.
would find attractive or a turn on, or is that just something that pleases you in the sense that like, I helped this person, that's nice?
And in my job, it's just, I help this person, that's nice. Or they're smart enough to take what they think is helpful and their own things and put them together and like create what they're going to do.
No, but
right?
it's not like turning you on as in like, I want to fuck you.
But if I was a therapist who was attracted to my client and I was like, oh, this person has mental health issues, I don't know if I should get involved with them. But I saw them taking steps to fix those mental health issues and I was like, oh, this could be a viable relationship. They're functioning and they're taking the steps to improve themselves. I think that would be a turn on.
Okay.
So this is a tough.
Not for everyone.
What does Maureen have to say?
Well, I'm like the killer of fun. Like, I will just say that right away. But if like a therapist can't ever be like, you have to turn that off when you see a new patient always. And if you are true to your oath that you take to be, or you know, your professional obligations, you would never think of a client that way. And if you are, you would have to stop seeing that client.
Yeah, and that does happen.
Didn't work on Suits though.
But you can't. Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but they stopped seeing each other professionally. After
they hooked up the first time though, right?
Well, I don't know if they did it and then decided to, but like at that point she can't see him again if they're sexually involved.
Right. Okay. Fine. But they were therapist and patient. They became attracted to each other and then started a romantic relationship.
Yeah, but it's an ethics violation. I don't know if it's actually illegal, but you can lose your license.
It is an ethics violation.
Yeah. So like if that got reported, you could get a malpractice lawsuit and everything. So if you care about your therapist,
so just treat it as illegal.
Yeah, you don't expect anything to happen or try to make anything happen while you're still involved. So I guess that brings us to Darren's question. Assuming I have to get another therapist, how can I just seduce my current one while still maintaining the veneer of you or my therapist?
Well, they can just role play.
Yeah, I mean, oh,
she wants to be attracted to him in that way of like, oh, he's my therapist.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's easy.
But
how to seduce?
But would the therapist? Okay, let's say that he stopped seeing this therapist to see another therapist, and his current therapist and he got in a relationship or did whatever. They started dating, whatever. Would that person want to pretend to be a therapist after they've been doing that all day long with other people? Like, you
probably would have to ask for that later. But I think like when you're a therapist, you can't turn that off so easily. So it's even like if you're gonna, it's gonna probably present itself. So I would just ignore that entirely and then bring it up as role play 6 months after you've been dating. If somehow you make this happen, I would like to say the chances of getting with your therapist are extremely low in the situation. Not to be a downer on it. It's just, I want to be realistic that, he has a lot to lose by dating you. So you have to be exactly what he wants, I think. And you don't know what that is because he's your therapist and he's going to make you feel good. Probably.
We gotta speed this one up. What's the next portion of it?
Well, how can I tell my therapist he's hot? If necessary, how can I tell him I need to change providers?
Yeah. So if you, I think this is the main question to answer. Although should we mention I guess we should answer your question first, Erica.
I mean, I think we kind of have.
Well, do you think it will impede his therapeutic process? I feel like it's a little distracting, but it does get you to go, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, because his second question is, should this issue be part of the therapy? He did start seeing the therapist because he wasn't interested in people romantically, and the therapy has led him to be interested in people romantically. So, like, I guess it's working.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean,
if that was a problem he was trying to solve.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the best thing here to be would be honest, because I've been thinking about like all the tricks you could do, which the ethical ones. Like write an anonymous letter and ask for a response, like, what would you do if one of your patients was attracted to you? That doesn't seem like it would really result in a whole lot. But, I mean, since that is the actual issue you're talking about, it does seem like just telling them the truth would make the most sense. And then if you're lucky, then maybe something will happen after you maybe do the therapy part
But
first.
the problem is, if he's a good therapist and, things are going well, and he just says that he's attracted to him, and that makes the therapist be like, oh, we shouldn't see each other anymore, then if he sees another therapist and the therapist's not as good, it could, like, ruin his progress.
Well, maybe, but the therapist would probably recommend a good one, right?
Could recommend a good one, or could say, like, oh, well, maybe you're attracted to me because this is the first time you've had a conversation with somebody where you can get things off of your chest, and maybe you should seek out other sorts of relationships where you can, talk freely and have an open exchange, and maybe that's what you're attracted to.
Yeah.
So still be progress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe see if you can find another hot gay therapist to just see once and see if that happens. But
I mean, I think that if the therapist he's seeing now isn't actually attracted to him at all and doesn't have the intention of doing anything, he would probably just keep being his therapist.
Yeah,
it's more that if he feels weird about it and he's like, oh, now it's been said out loud and we both like each other, that might be when he's like, we shouldn't see each other.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's a decent age gap here, so like you shouldn't be offended if he doesn't want to have sex with you or date you or anything, Geoff, because Geoff. Well, I'm trying to blend it, but yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't take it personally in this case because he has a lot to lose by taking a risk. Like you would have to, if he wants to date you, that means you're pretty fucking desirable to him, because that's like a big chance to take. So that you could be flattered by, but you should certainly not be offended if he says no. It's obviously an uncomfortable thing to say in therapy, but since this is like what you're actually dealing with, I would say that you should go for it and tell the truth, because either way it's probably gonna help you figure things out.
And it should be, I mean, your therapist will probably get to it anyway, but you should be able to tell him in a way that's like, so I came to see you with this problem. I feel like this problem, or like seeing you resulted in the result of what's happening or whatever. Like, now I have a crush on you, and maybe is this a thing or whatever, and see what happens from there.
Yeah, like I'm confused about, I came to you confused about my sexuality. I was starting to think I was asexual, but I've developed an attraction to you. I'm not sure why that is. And I apologize if that makes you uncomfortable or anything, but I have a huge crush on you, and I want to try to figure out what's going on here. I don't know. Anyone else want to give another example so he has a few to go on?
No.
Nope. All right. Richard and me. You take your pick. But hopefully that is helpful. Definitely let us know what happens. I'm very curious to hear what happens when you tell him, if you decide to. You obviously don't have to do what we say. But I hope that either way something gets resolved. It would be cool if you had a wonderful romance, but generally speaking, things don't work out in the fun fantasy way.
Or maybe after you've been in therapy for a while, you'll go and meet someone else that you feel comfortable with and are attracted to, and you'll date them.
Worst case scenario, you know what you're into, at least somewhat. So like when you do have a relationship, whoever it's with, therapist or not, you can always do the therapist role play like Erica mentioned. All right, so the next question is from Rose. I wish it was Rosé, but I guess that's not a name.
I had White Girl Rosé wine. Yeah. Oh my god.
That's what it's called?
It's called White Girl Rosé.
Might as well be called Basic Bitch.
It's so funny. I didn't get drunk off of it, but it was quite lovely to drink.
You didn't get drunk off of it?
No.
How much did you have?
About a glass and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got fun off of it.
I got fun, but I didn't get drunk.
Was this why you were babysitting
it did its job, is all I'm saying. Yeah.
Jesus.
We had Lindsay and Melanie over.
So unprofessional.
We went to an escape room. I was sober. And we went to the escape room and then played a video game. What are you laughing at?
Well, it's his nephew. I'm sure there are a lot of sober people in
Yeah,
the world.
I know, but I'm the reason he visits. Richard doesn't really like.
Yeah, I don't do anything with them.
Okay.
Well,
They
I mean,
build
what do you
3D
do?
printers together.
Yeah, we built a 3D printer, but it didn't work.
Oh.
I
Well,
mean,
at least you tried.
Well, it's gonna work. It's just it was supposed to take 2.5 hours. So I thought, oh, this will be a fun one to do with Nico because he likes to make stuff and he wants to build a robot and thinks he wants to be an engineer. I'm not sure if Grandpa put that in his head, but it either way, it's a good job. So I thought this would be a good project for us to do, and then he could 3D print something because I promised him like 3 years ago when the broken 3D printer broke that he could do it, and then it broke. So he never got to 3D print anything, and we spent 2 days trying to build this thing, and it turns on, and the x-axis works, but the y-axis, for some reason, the conveyor belt just goes brrrr at the end when it's trying to move off of itself, and I don't know why, because that looks like a software issue, but I'm sure it's my fault somehow. Anyway, next time, when he's here for New Year's,
The point is,
Finally.
White Girl Rosé. Check it out, you guys.
yeah,
12% alcohol.
it's delicious, apparently. I never tasted it. I used to try to
It tastes like
them.
juice.
Oh,
Oh.
I would have liked it then. Do we
Mhm.
still have some?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a sip.
So,
Just so I know.
Rose.
Rose writes,
Rosé.
hello, Erica, Darren, Adam, and sometimes Richard.
Wait, why sometimes? He's on
Exactly.
here way less than I
Darren is
am.
on like once every 2 months.
Yeah, so Rose, just FYI, I know you're only 20 and heterosexual, but Richard's on all the time, Darren
Yeah.
sometimes. So I'm going to
I
just
think
fix this
maybe-
for you. She spelled Erica
Maybe
right
that's her passive-aggressive way of being like, we don't want you on as much.
Yeah, I'll just fix it. You're just looking a way to get out of here. Hello, Erica, Richard, Adam, and sometimes Darren. You're welcome. So I met this boy 3 years ago at the gym, and we started talking and hanging out. He lives in another city than me, but spends the summers with his parents in town. He is 3 years older than me. After meeting up a few times, we fucked, and we are now friends with benefits. So we got another one of these, and this one I haven't read yet. This has been going on for the last 3 years, but we only ever talk when he is in town. He recently slept over, and in the middle of us having sex, he started crying. Oh, right. That's why the crying header. Okay. We don't have a very emotional relationship, and we know very little about each other. I felt extremely awkward with him crying on top of me. I think that's probably going to be how you're going to feel no matter how well you know him, to some degree. But anyway, later I came to find out his brother died only a week before this. Okay, I'm not really sure how sex brought that on, but I feel
Well,
very.
I think if you're having sex, sometimes you're in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, let's just
literally,
hope
but-
that's what it is, and he
Yeah.
wasn't just like, oh,
I
I
get
miss
it.
fucking my brother.
No.
I don't think that's what it is. You're the only one who went to that place.
But I had to go to that place. Anyway, I feel very weird now, and I don't know if I should bring it up. I understand he is in a lot of pain, and I feel bad. However, it is also awkward for me because I feel like he was just thinking of his brother while fucking me. See, I'm not sure.
But
I
not
should say.
fucking his brother.
Well, it was a small jump from there. I feel like he was just thinking of his brother while fucking me. I'm not
Oh my
sure if I should say anything or talk to him about it because we have never had that kind of relationship, though I do care about him. I don't think it's a problem to do it. I guess if you feel comfortable having a conversation where he cries about his dead brother, then yes, not a problem to bring it up because you can say, hey, like, you know, you cried during sex recently and it's okay. I know you're going through a tough time. I just didn't know about it at the time. If you're not feeling up to it or if you're feeling emotional, it kind of came out of the blue for me. So I don't want to say don't cry or anything, but like, just let me know and we can talk about it or let him know that you're there for him basically. And that, but also that, if at all possible to maybe at least pull out first before sobbing on top of you.
Well, did they continue having sex while he was
I
crying?
hope not.
No, it seems like
Because I feel like that's on her to be like, okay, we need to stop.
She said
Because
that.
Oh
she's
no! Oh,
clearly
you're
in
right.
an
In the middle
emotional
of us having sex,
Yeah.
we started crying. We don't have an emotional relationship.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
she didn't say whether or not they finished having
no.
sex
But
or
she
whatever.
said she found out his brother died, so I'm hoping that he was crying, and then she was like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my brother died last week or whatever." And they like maybe he got caught off of her, and they laid there.
I'm
and, like,
picturing they just
talked.
kept having sex.
That'd be real fucked up.
Well, it'd be kind of weird. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess like I try to be there for him if you want to be. If you don't want to be, then you know, I mean, you can encourage him to see somebody or ask him if he has anyone he can talk to about it. But then like maybe before sex, you could just say like, "Are you feeling okay?" Or are you like, you up
gonna
for
cry
it?
this time?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and like,
No.
you gonna cry? You gonna be a little bitch about it?
I feel like
Yeah,
you're
don't
so
do that.
emotional during sex.
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying.
It's just like everything can feel so good, and then all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
you remember the really bad thing, and it just comes on all of a sudden because your emotions are already so
Mm-hmm.
heightened. So it could have been a one-off, in proximity.
Yeah,
to
I
a
don't
recent-
think the sex had anything to do with it. I think it also
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, it
you're
might have
not
been just
necessarily
hormones.
talking, and so your mind can go to a variety of places. So like if they were just watching TV or
Hmm.
whatever, he would have probably had something else to focus on. But now he was like just feeling all the feelings.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if he's like me, then the sex had something to do with it, probably because, I mean, nowadays I'm better at controlling myself, but I can't stop thinking ever. So I have to like push the thoughts out. Otherwise, like for me, sex is mindless. It has to be mindless, or I can't do it properly because I get too distracted by my own head. And so,
How far has Erica gotten in damages?
is that something I thought about once?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was thinking about this asshole is like a studio apartment. That's been a thought. You know that one.
Yeah, but at least that was related to
Not
the
yours,
sex.
don't worry.
Like, wait a minute.
That was like
it's so
something that I
small.
would think that you were like, oh, that'll be a good way to explain this asshole to Erica later. Like it makes sense that you had that thought.
Yes,
The-
but I wasn't thinking about how I was going to explain it to you.
No, I
was
know,
just thinking
but-
about real estate.
But like that's
So
that's something I would like. That time that I was sleeping with someone and he had lost a lot of weight and his skin folds were making an angry face while I was giving him a blowjob. Like
Well,
I
that's
was like,
normal.
oh, that'll be. I'll have to describe that to Adam later. Like
That's
that
at
was
least
weird.
related. Yeah,
But so the studio-
wasn't like Johanna, who I guess she's okay with saying this, who was thinking about one time she was having sex and she was thinking like, oh, pumpkins are 50% off at Safeway or something.
No, my mom.
My mom told me pumpkins are 2 for 1 at
oh, that's worse.
Safeway.
Yeah.
And it was like right before her husband was like about to have an orgasm. So it's not the great timing.
Yeah,
but
he doesn't love that story.
anyways,
They're still happy together.
so the studio apartment was a weird. The fact that you were like, oh, I wonder what episode Erica is on of Damages. That was a little more like
Yeah,
your
that's
mind
weird.
was wandering too much.
Yeah, that's when. Yeah, that's like after 30 seconds of it. It's yeah, and I'm thinking like sex related things. This is interesting. Is my toe cold? Where's Erica in Damages? I wonder if we could start watching together soon. Yeah, that's basically it.
I don't think. How do I say this without sounding like an asshole?
You just sound like an asshole.
I don't
We'll fix
think that it's your responsibility to have that conversation with him. I think
no,
it's a
it's definitely
nice
not.
thing to do. I think if you care about this person and you are actually concerned, I think you should, talk to him about it. Be like, hey, you were crying. You said it was about your brother or whatever. Like, do you want to talk about it? Like Erica said. But I don't think you have a responsibility. So if you don't want to do it, I don't think you have to. I think it sounds like you guys both acknowledged that it happened.
I hope so.
Well, because she found out why.
Yeah, but I hope it, because she said I came to find out, so I hope it wasn't like he's crying during sex, he finished anyways, they didn't acknowledge it, and then later on, like, a mutual friend was like, oh, yeah, his brother died.
I
Because
guess that
that's
could be.
fucking weird if that's what happened.
Yeah.
I also feel like she's known him for 3 years. You don't think she should just have a conversation about it?
Well, she didn't even know that his brother died, so how close are
Because
they?
he didn't tell her.
Exactly.
Well, but I'm saying if she's like, hey, do you want to talk? Then maybe he'll feel comfortable telling her these kinds of things in the future, not just crying on top of her.
But does she want that?
I think she would rather that than have him just start
No,
crying.
but I mean, does she want that relationship where he tells her these things?
Wouldn't you
regardless
want that
of
after
the-
3 years of fucking someone?
I don't know, maybe. It depends on who the person is. If I had feelings for this person, then yeah, I'd probably want that. But if it was just like, this person rolls into town and I get to fuck someone hot,
Yeah, he
like,
has an
I don't want to know
expiration date,
anything.
And then he goes away.
Yeah, then he goes away and I don't-
have 9 months of my life back. to do
Right.
it.
Right, like
Yeah.
then I wouldn't necessarily want to know that information. Like it's like fine to know it, but it's not something I'm seeking out. So I think it depends on how she feels about him, and if she does feel that she wants that kind of a relationship where she can talk to him about very vulnerable things, then yeah, definitely go for talking to him about that. But if not, and if you guys both acknowledge that he cried, then just let it go.
Okay.
Oh,
And
no
I-
one has anything to add?
No, I think
Like
it's
a good note to end it on.
I think it's solely context. Like what you do in the situation depends how much effort you want to put in, how serious the relationship is, or you want it to be. Like you want to be there for him, or you not want to be there for him, and that's about it. All right.
Our next question comes from Alexa, who's a 24-year-old heterosexual female.
Oh my God, she didn't
says-
turn on. I forgot to mute the echo speaker and it didn't turn on.
Alexa, I feel your pain that when someone
No,
says
now
your
it
name,
turned
they
on.
immediately bring up a robot, because I recently had a robot named after me, and I feel very uncomfortable about it.
Alexa's not sure about that.
Yeah, she's muted now.
So she writes, can you help me settle an argument with my boyfriend? Even if I'm wrong, I just want the truth. LMAO.
Wait, hold on. Alexa, can you help us settle a argument with your boyfriend?
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, so exactly. So we have to do it. Okay, I just want to make sure.
I told my boyfriend I love dolphins, and he proceeded to inform me that he read online dolphins rape each other in their blowholes because they're one of the only non-humans that have sex for pleasure. To which I responded, that's fucking dumb, because that's fucking dumb. Dolphins exclusively breathe through their blowholes.
Mhm.
Having sex via blowhole would probably have water rush in and kill them. We've both found lots of clickbaity articles supporting our claims. Can you tell me the truth of the dolphin?
Yes. But can Alexa do it? Alexa, do dolphins have blowhole sex?
This might answer your question. Jacksonville men's basketball, also called Dolphins, is male. Did that answer your
No.
No, I don't know what question that answered. What do you...
Thanks for your feedback.
All right, thanks, Alexa. You're not helpful. Hopefully, regular Alexa's better.
No, she doesn't know the answer.
She's asking us.
She's about to, and she's correct. So she does know the answer. She just doesn't know.
Oh,
she
so they
knows
don't
it.
fuck each other in blowhole?
Well, she's right about.
Well, the penises are too big for that, right?
It's complicated. It's actually a little bit of both. But we found an article. I actually found this by Googling a scientific. I Googled it. It was the first result. So I don't know if I'm lucky or you're just bad at Googling. But there's an actual scientific paper on this. Believe it or not. So there's a link in the show notes. I found it through a pop culture article, but you can get to the paper through it. Anyway, so you're right about the blocking the soul airway, and the water rushing in and killing them. You actually use a lot of words that are in here. So Amazon River dolphins, like all dolphins, breathe exclusively through their blowhole atop their head. Dolphins cannot breathe through their mouths like most other mammals. Blowhole sex then involves an animal allowing something to be jammed into its sole airway, which would likely lead to the very real risk of water rushing in and the animal drowning. Greg found, I'm assuming this is one of the researchers, he says, the middle mention in scientific literature of this ever happening, the single mention, I don't know why I thought it said middle. The single mention in scientific literature of this ever happening in this article from 1994, which we linked to both of them in the show notes, so don't worry about it. Greg spoke to a co-author on that article. Oh, Greg's someone, I don't know who Greg is. But anyway, someone spoke to the co-author on the article who said, with regard to the blowhole, they never inserted the penis entirely. So it's like they might try to, but then realize it's not really a good hole to fuck. So there's a reason people believe it, but it doesn't really happen because it's too dangerous. And you don't want to, unless you're a dolphin necrophiliac, I suppose it's not really useful.
You win.
Yeah. So the question is, what is the punishment your boyfriend gets now to be wrong?
No blowjobs for a month, and only you get your pussy eaten out if that's what you want.
Yeah. If you really want some help though, we'd be happy to figure out what your boyfriend loses from losing this argument.
His penis.
Oh my
We're
God.
not going to take his penis permanently.
You're a terrible person.
But if you want us to punish your boyfriend, let us know and we'll send you a sticker.
Time's up, Erica.
Time's up for what?
For penises? Time's up for people having genital
for
organs?
men spreading this false narrative about dolphins and trying to undermine their girlfriend's knowledge. Like, what the hell? We need enough.
I think
Time's
she just
up.
should have sex in his blowhole.
Have sex in his blowhole? Yes. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
I'm sure she can figure it out.
Okay.
She's gonna get real creative.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what's the next question?
That's it.
Oh, that's
We're
it.
done. We
Bye.
did it. Wait, well,
We have
so
to advertise the blanket again.
yeah, next week. Well, we don't have to advertise it, but next week we will hopefully be able to decide who won the blanket and the glue and a sticker pack. If you want to keep entering, since you won't know when this actually comes out, we'll throw in some more sticker packs because we got plenty of those. With some other fun stuff. We got some new buttons and other things. So we'll send you a fun awkward human sticker situation. But yeah, send in a question, send in a story. I just mentioned in your submission that I want to be entered for a prize, which means you'll probably just get one anyway. Since the stickers,
You have a preference between like the
free to send
blanket and the
almost.
glue. Just let us know.
Oh well, they might be too late for that, but they might not be if no one enters. So we're just gonna we'll let you know when we finally get rid of this stuff. But yeah, enter to win, and you will win something probably.
Oh, and I did want to plug a project. Remember?
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
You have
I do
a.
now.
It's not
Go
a
to
GoFundMe. What is it?
it's Seed and Spark.
Oh, God, there's so many.
SEEDANDSPARK.com.
Sounds like
This is
some weird
this
gay
is like a
sex thing.
GoFundMe, but it focuses on creators who are female. And so, like,
that's
if
cool.
you're a woman who wants to get a movie done, like,
Seed
you
and
can go to
Spark
this
does?
place and
you trying to
do
tell us
fun.
something?
Yeah, bitch.
You're a man. Why are you talking
Because
about
someone I know has a project on there called Pure. So
This is what Seed and Spark does, not just
Yes.
the project. Okay.
yes.
That's why I was confused as to why Richard was.
So go to seedandspark.com and search for Pure. It's a televised. I don't know if they're trying to make it into a web series or what, but it's going to be an episodic show, and they're raising funds for it. And it sounds like a really cool project.
What is it about?
It's like a futuristic type of thing, and it's also fantasy. There are these like warriors who hunt down specific people who like have magic or something like that,
Oh.
and kill them. So it's a story about like one of these warrior or assassins and one of these people who are like kind of stuck together for whatever reason, and like
Ooh, odd
exploring
couple.
like an odd couple type of thing, exploring what their relationship is. I'm probably doing a really bad job of explaining it, but anyway, the project looks really cool, and
Makes sense.
I know a few other people who are there, so it would be really cool if you guys go and donate. And they have really cool prizes. If you donate like $25, you can be a voiceover for something.
Oh.
You did that,
Yeah,
I think.
I did do that, yeah. So many cool prizes. Go check it out.
Yeah, and this is not even your project.
It's not my project.
You have nothing invested in it other than the money you donated to them already yourself.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
unlike someone at this table, you donate to your charity.
Right. I do. What's that charity called, girl? Again?
Girl.
It is called Days for Girls. And
Girls
as
for
you may
Days.
know-
Are you sure it's not Girls
Oh,
for Days?
it's definitely Days for Girls. As you may know, many celebrities have charities. And they do fundraisers for them. That doesn't mean that they're putting all their money into the charity. What am I made of money? I don't get paid to be on the show.
But you gotta
How am I
put-
gonna
You
donate
did
to it?
before. You could donate $1.
I could donate $1.
I think you should donate $1 just to prove it.
What I
that
really
you care.
need is for my fans to support my charity.
But are you throwing a gala for this event
You
or
know
what?
I'm
Like
doing?
because that's
I'm going to Red Lobster, Richard. I'm donating my time to the charity for money that I will also give to the charity. Buy me, and Days for Girls will have plenty of pads.
Yeah, and Girls for Days. You'll have Girls for. You'll have Erica for
For hours.
hours. Yeah.
Erica for hours.
Days for Girls, Erica for hours.
Mhm.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. The keyboard died on me, so I can't stop this normally. Good thing I programmed a new button to stop recording.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by. You have a question, story, comment, or whatever for the Awkward Human Survival Guide? We want to hear it. We read everything we get on the show, censored for your privacy if you wish, and might laugh about your problem because tragedy loves humor, but genuinely want to help you out. If you've got something to share with us, even if you think it's stupid, send it in as anonymously or proudly as you wish. You can do all of that at awkward.email. You just go to http://awkward.email. Oh yeah, and watch the videos on YouTube, youtube.com/awkwardhuman.